Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you a side dish using Philadelphia cooking cream, the original blend, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a Mediterranean flair for you. It's going to have some wonderful roasted vegetables, some pasta, and then a lot of other ingredients. It's going to give it some really great flavor. So let me explain to you what I've already done for you. I went ahead and I roasted some vegetables. There's some onion, there's some asparagus, and there's some little grape tomatoes. I put a little bit of some garlic powder, salt, and pepper, tossed them with a little bit of some olive oil, roasted them off at 400 degrees for about 25-28 minutes. Now, you'll see I have everything separated here. That's me. I'm a little weird that way. You do not have to keep them separated when you put them on the cookie sheet. Toss them around, throw them in the oven. You don't have to follow suit on that. What I have here, I have some butter that is melting. Now, normally, if I was making this and not wanting to show you how I was doing it, I would end up making my pasta, keeping a little bit of the water out, draining it, and doing everything and using a bigger Dutch oven. I have to do dishes by hand. I don't want to dirty any more dishes than I have to, but I wanted to be able to show you today, so I wanted a lower pan here. So that's the reason I'm using the additional pan. So I have some butter melting here. All I'm going to throw in a little bit of some garlic and get that going. Give that a little bit of a chance to get some of that raw garlic flavor out. Turn that down a little bit. And just give that just a second. And what I'm going to add to it is a little bit, I have some Kalamata olives here that I have, they're pitted of course, and diced up. I'm going to put those in, as well as a few capers, about 2 teaspoons. And I have, of course, they're drained, and I chopped them up just a little bit. So I'm going to give this a second to heat through. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the vegetables in. Now with the tomatoes, I went ahead because they were really small. They're grape, but they were really small even for grape. I left them whole. There were 2 or 3 in there that were on the bigger side. I did cut them in half before I roasted them. But what you want to do is, after you put them in the pan here, after they've been roasted, you want to kind of just ever so carefully kind of break them a little bit with the back of the spoon. That will release a little bit of their juice, as well as flatten them out a little bit. Be careful because they can splatter on you. So you want to be careful. You don't want to get hit with hot tomato sauce or juice. Okay, got those in there. And now we'll toss. Oops. My foil's getting in the way. I put foil on, of course, again. I wanted an easy cleanup, but I did tear it a little bit, so I want to make sure I don't get any foil in there. And then the onions. Now, the one thing about roasting the vegetables, I'm not sure if you've ever done it before. If you haven't, you need to try it. It totally changes the flavor of them. It makes them sweeter, just intensifies their flavor. They're really, really good. So if you haven't given them a try, definitely give it a try. Okay, so we have all of our goodies in there. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to toss in our pasta. And like I said, normally I would have already had this drained, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. I don't want a really deep pot where you couldn't see everything going together. Now I'm using bow tie pasta. If you don't have bow tie pasta and you want to use penne or something like that, of course, feel free to substitute whatever you have on hand. But I just thought the little bow ties were cute for this. And again, I'm going to just kind of toss that around. So now we are going to toss in, before we get to our cooking cream is going to be the second to last thing we add. We're going to go ahead and I have some feta cheese here that I've crumbled, and I'm going to toss that in. Oops, flying out of the pot here. Get that going. All right. Now we're up to our cooking cream. Now the original of the cooking cream is really great. It comes in some great flavors, but with the original, you can go ahead and flavor it with anything you want. It's rich, it's thick, it's creamy. It's really good by itself. But you can, by putting other flavors, you can flavor it anything you want. So we're going to go ahead and put all that in. There we go. Stir that in. Now we're going to put a little bit of some pepper in here. I'm not going to salt it. Between the feta cheese and the Kalamata olives. They're both very salty, so you don't want to go ahead and salt it right when everything's all done and mixed in there. If you want to give it a taste, you can, but for me, I know between those two there's going to be more than enough salt in there, so I'm not going to even worry about it. Alright, turn that up a little bit, and I'm going to give it a little bit of some pepper. And then our last ingredient that we're going to put in while it's still cooking here on the stove top is some fresh basil. And I have about 3 tablespoons. I'm going to put 2 in right now, and the last tablespoon I'll be using as some garnish. Okay, so there we go. And actually at this point, depending on, the tomatoes had a lot of juice in them when I crushed them, so I don't really think I'm going to need any of the pasta water, so I'm not even going to bother adding it. So if you did drain it, had it reserved, and you don't need it, don't feel like you have to use it. You just want to go ahead and have it on the side just in case, but this looks just great the way it is. So I'm going to turn that off and move a few things out of the way here to move that. Get my mitts, I don't want to burn myself. Alrighty, so here we go. Here is our, oops, that was good. Get that back up there. I want you to be able to see that a little better. So there is our dish. Now, I would go ahead and at this point put it on a nice serving platter, but I'm just going to show it to you in the pan as it is. It's not a bad pan. It doesn't do bad for a service. So at this point, I have a little bit more. Again, why I didn't want to add too much salt, or any actually, because for me there was enough. I have some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. I'm going to put on the top here. Let that melt a little bit. And then our last tablespoon of the basil. Doesn't that look good? Can't wait to dig in and try it. Hope if you can hear that. Sorry, that's one of my dogs scratching and crying down there. All right. And there we go. There we have it. There's our wonderful pasta dish with our roasted vegetables and our pasta and our capers and our olives. I'm going to go easily. Stop down there. I'm going to go ahead and serve up a little bit here. Make sure I get some tomato in there. All right, give this a little try. It looks delicious. It looks hot though too. You can see the steam coming off of it. I don't want to burn myself. Oh, it's really delicious. The feta cheese gives it a really nice flavor, and you have those roasted vegetables in there, and of course the cooking cream, which makes it delicious and thick and creamy and holds it together. Give this dish a try. I think you're really going to love it. Serves a lot of people. You can see I only used 6 ounces of pasta. You're probably going to get at least 6 side dishes out of that. So it's a good, stretches a meal really well. So I hope you try it and enjoy it. Thank you.